Happy Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday, whenever you're watching this. Welcome to another episode of Heal Up with B. It is hot today. As you know, I'm trying to step into my purpose of being the sweat is real, of being a motivational speaker, and really just sharing, start to really share all of my tips and my strategies and my tricks and my keys on how I made this full mind, body, and soul transformation. So today I want to talk about 3 reasons why you need to heal. So there's a billion reasons why you need to heal. And as the movement keeps going, as I continue to speak and share with you, I'll share all of the reasons. But I only got 10 minutes. So, I could talk a lot longer than that. So I just kind of cut it down into 3 main points along with, a few little other ones. So the first one, and I have my little notes here, so if I look down or anything, that's what I'm looking at. So the first thing that I said was to understand the importance of boundaries. Boundaries is really, really important, and actually something that I have always struggled with. I am really proud of myself because I feel like I have a really good handle on my boundaries right now. The more solid they are, the easier it gets. I always like to intertwine boundaries with expectations. The more solid your boundaries are, the less you expect from people, at least from my experience, because my boundaries are set, so I don't expect anything from anyone aside from myself. Also, looking inside of yourself for the answer. That's always really, really important. We want to make sure that through our healing journey, we understand that we always look at ourselves when certain things happen. So not always just negative things, but in every situation, but especially in those negative kind of icky situations, what did you do? It's kind of the lesson of being proactive versus reactive. The old Brenda was very reactive. It was rare, easy. You would just get me from 0 to 60 very, very quickly. And in my healing, I have learned that that is not okay. We need to be proactive. We need to think about why what we contributed to this situation. Now I like to say it's not necessarily anybody's fault. In a lot of things, in my opinion, there's no right or wrong. It's just your perspective. It's how, your understanding, how you were raised, the experiences that you've been through, random thing like divorce, for example. I've never been through a divorce. I've never been married. So I probably wouldn't be the great person to come to seek advice for that. My perspective is going to be a lot different than someone who is married and has been through a divorce, right? So it's all about perspective, what you have been through. There's no right or wrong. But again, establishing those boundaries allows you to look inside of yourself for the answer and stop blaming other people. Instead of saying it's your fault, you're the one who said this, you're the one who acted this way. What did I do to get you to act that way? How did I contribute to it? Also, solitude and silence. That's something that I always preach. The more solid that your boundaries are, the more comfortable you are going to be in solitude. I have come to a point where I prefer solitude. You would think that in social gatherings, I'm all of this, but I'm really not. My introvert side is starting to come out a lot more. I notice when I'm around a group of people, it's kind of weird for people because they're why are you completely silent? I just find a lot of comfort. I have to talk a lot for my job. I have to always be turned on. So in times where I get to chill, I want to chill, and I am super duper comfortable in silence. I can be silent next to somebody for hours and be completely okay because my mind is just going like this anyway. So I'm just not talking to you. So that's another thing of establishing really great boundaries allows you to be comfortable in solitude and in silence. So my next key is to truly be free. Free encompasses so many things. It's a big umbrella. To be free of your inner demons, to be free of other people's expectations, of your own expectations, of yourself and of other people, to be free of other people's judgments. And that goes along so many spectrums. To be free of wearing the clothes that you want or saying whatever you want to say. being, having a voice. Sometimes people are not going to agree with you. I have definitely been in the shoes where people don't always agree with everything that I have to say. You're not always going to get the same result, as the result that I got. If, in doing something, let's say weight loss, for example, what works for me may not have worked for you, but that's okay. At least you tried it. And when you realize what you don't, or what doesn't work for you, then you kind of take that off the list and you can start to see what does work for you. Okay, so to truly be free. Also, another important thing about why you need to heal: understanding your triggers and finding your healthy coping mechanisms. Triggers, healthy coping mechanisms are words that I didn't really start to understand until a few years ago when I started this healing journey. I didn't realize what my triggers are. Now I have a really good idea as to what triggers me. It's certain words, or it's certain actions, or it's certain types of conversations. For everybody, it's going to be different depending on the experiences that you have been. Sometimes it's, or have been through. Sometimes it's really difficult to tap into understanding your triggers because you're triggered along the way. But sometimes we kind of have to be in those spaces to realize, okay, that's not a feeling that I want to feel. This is what got me to there. So now I can express my needs and my wants to other people. So understanding your triggers is really important. And then being able to bring yourself back to a peaceful place. So not only, okay, this is what triggers me, but how do I get back from that? How do I not feel like shit? Healthy coping mechanisms. For me, it's dancing. Of course, that's always going to be number one. Oil. I said that in my meeting the other day, lavender oil. I always keep lavender oil near me. It's my favorite scent. So just smelling it and just being on my body, I put it all over my body, anywhere where I feel it needs to be. That makes me feel good. Being out in nature, I don't know, calling a friend, venting to myself, being in solitude. There's so many things, talking to my dog, walking the dog. There's a million things that you could do as a healthy coping mechanism. There's also a million things that you could do that aren't unhealthy. So make sure that you're always trying to find those healthy coping mechanisms, understanding your triggers, and figuring out a way to come back to a peaceful place after you have been triggered. Also, just a bonus. So that was 3. It was kind of like all a long one, but there was like 3 main points in there. A bonus would be to stop letting people be in charge of your worth. So a lot of times we seek validation in other people. We seek our level of worthiness in others. Depending on how many likes I get, or how many comments I get, or how many compliments are told to me, that's my worth. That is false. 0%. You get to decide what your worth is. You can't allow somebody else to do that for you. So that's another great reason why you need to heal, to understand that you do not need to seek validation in other people. That's not what you need to do. So validation is inside of here. And sometimes we're human, right? So we love the compliments. We love, people hyping us up. But what happens when nobody does that? What happens when, you do something grand and nobody really congratulates you for it? You got the one main person who's always going to be there rooting for you, who should always be there rooting for you, and that's yourself. I suffer from kind of that traumatic pain of saying, hey, I did this, I got an A+ on, a grade or an essay or something, or, and then the people who I was sharing it to were like, oh, that's cool, whatever. And it made me feel like shit. It made me feel like, dang, I worked really hard to do this, and you're not even going to say, I'm proud of you. You're not even going to say, dang, good job. I could have been telling myself that the entire time. So I suffered a lot from seeking validation in other people, not understanding that the only validation I need to seek is inside of myself. I need to be proud of myself. If nobody else is rooting for me, I will be rooting for me. So just a recap, because my 10 minutes is almost over. 3 reasons as to why you need to heal. In this video, at least, because there's a bunch. Understanding the importance of boundaries, understanding your triggers and your healthy coping mechanisms, how to come back to a peaceful place, not allowing other people to define your worth, and be free of all things that have conditioned you. It's time to unlearn that stuff so we can heal all the trauma that we've been through. My 10 minutes are up. Can't believe it. can't believe it. All I can keep looking at low-key is my missing tooth. I'm getting braces soon, y'all. So that's why I had to get a tooth extracted. So if you can't stop looking at that, that's okay, because I can't stop looking at it either. Join the movement, Heal Up with B. Let me know if you want to be added to my Facebook group, Heal Up with B Facebook group. Brenda Suarez on Facebook. Bye.